Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look into the underrepresentation of Black people in STEM. We have all heard of successful scientists like Albert Einstein, the creator of the E equals mc squared equation, or even Isaac Newton, an English mathematician who discovered the laws of gravity and invented calculus. Or what about Stephen Hawking? He created the famous black hole theory. But have you ever heard of these successful black scientists? Dr. Alexa Kennedy, the first female black pediatric neurosurgeon. She specialized in spinal problems and brain tumors. Or what about Mae Jemison, the first black female astronaut to board the Endeavour space shuttle? Or Angela Benton, the creator of B20, a site that allows black people to have access to a variety of info surrounding technology. She also created the website New Me, a website that was created to help underrepresented black people in STEM. Let's go a little further. Let's talk about the hardships and discrimination they faced in STEM fields, which led to their underrepresentation. Dr. Kennedy attended a predominantly white school, seeing as she was born post-segregation era. In the school, she scored significantly higher than her white counterparts. However, she did run into complications. On her first day of residency, one of the hospital's top administrators said, quote, "Oh, you must be our new equal opportunity package," end quote. Dr. Kennedy says this is the very type of verbal discrimination and oppression she experienced on a daily basis. Like Dr. Kennedy, Mae Jemison was one of the only African Americans in her class. Jemison says she felt a large amount of racial discrimination in schools growing up. For these reasons, Jemison felt severely underrepresented in STEM fields as a young black woman. Next, let's talk about Angela Benton. At an interview to a startups, speaking about getting into STEM fields, she says, quote, "There were no resources, no capital, or mentors," end quote. This lack of resources for black people hinders their ability to get into STEM positions. After researching black people in STEM and examining specifically these three scientists, I was able to specifically come up with the hypothesis that black people are facing underrepresentation as scientists and in STEM fields because of discrimination and negative attitudes towards them in the workplace. We have looked at real-world examples and listened to the opinions from black people in STEM. But now let's actually look at the statistics. Looking at statistics from Pew Research Center, we can see that STEM employment has grown by 79%, from 9.7 million to 17.3 million. This is great. However, black people only make up 11% of the US workforce and 9% of STEM workers, versus other ethnicities like Asians. They are overrepresented in STEM workforces relative to their share in the workforce. You can see this very clearly among college-educated workers in America. 17% of all college-educated STEM workers are Asian. Let's take a look at the statistics from WMPD in Science and Engineering. It shows scientists and engineering occupation percentages as of 2015. Black people make up 5%, Hispanic men and women make up 6%, Asian men and women make up 21%, and white men and women make up 67%. Among all those ethnicities, black people hold the lowest percentage. Let's take a look at statistics from Science News. Let's see if the trend continues there. It shows that black residents were 12.3% of the entire US population. However, only 8.4% have bachelor's degrees, 8.3% have master's, and 5.5% hold doctoral level degrees. My question now is why? Why do Black people have such low percentages as scientists and engineers and in achieving higher education among all the other ethnicities? Well, the answer is simple. As Black students in STEM make their way through their academics, they face unsupportive and actively hostile learning in research environments, as seen in the study done by American Institute of Physics from 2018 to 2019. Many Black students in STEM fields report that they face many microaggressions and small interactions between their peers and superiors, where they often question their presence or performance due to racially charged bias. Experiencing frequent situations like this can make the student feel as if they are unneeded and cause them to feel underrepresented in their field. A quote from Stephanie Poindexter, an anthropologist from the University of Buffalo in New York, says, quote, "As I reflect on my own academic journey, there are fewer and fewer Black students in my programs," end quote. Poindexter also says, "What I see a lot is untapped potential." She says, "Those interested students of color are not fostered into higher degrees in the same way other students are fostered." Now let's take a look at the STEM employment by race and ethnicity of 2017, a study done by Science News. The study showed that Black residents, Latinx residents, and Indigenous residents are the most severely underrepresented among U.S. scientists, engineers, and healthcare professionals among any other race. Black people are the most severely underrepresented because in America, they often face a lot of discrimination in the labor market. Also, when it comes to schooling, they are less likely to graduate from college, which stems from the fact that African Americans face greater financial barriers when it comes to getting into college and getting an education. This results in them ending up with more debt than white graduates and paying more for their loans, thus setting them back farther in life. In summary, I would like to end off with a question. I would like to ask those who have achieved great things in STEM and those currently studying it, what will it take to make STEM more diverse? In order to make STEM more diverse, those that are currently in STEM must work towards inspiring the next generation. They must work in inspiring those who do not even know that it exists. This can be done by becoming more visible and making their voices heard. An example of this is creating social media accounts, TED Talks, going to schools, joining mentor programs, so that kids can learn about the STEM industry and become inspired and not feel isolated, and learn about the STEM career choices.